Hello everyone, how are you? I hope you are well. In this occasion, I would like to explain about kinds of figurative language and the examples of it. The materials are customized according to the basic reading module 9 for reading one subject. By the way, have you ever heard about figurative language? What's the meaning of figurative language? Without further ado, let's take a look. What is figurative language? Actually, we often unconsciously use figurative language in our daily conversation. For example, Harry was his first child and the apple of his eye. The phrase apple of his eye means the person he loves most. Apple of your eye does not mean there is literally apple in an eye. It means the person that you adore or love most. So, figurative language refers to words or phrases that are meaningful but not literally true. A speaker uses an expression figuratively when she or he feels that no literal use will produce the same effect. By the end of this video, you are expected to be able to make sentences of figurative language. The major function of figurative language is to enhance author's message and help the audience embrace its full sense, whether with the help of emotions or specific images that are associated with used figures of speech. The function of figurative language presupposes creating additional meaning that goes beyond each separate word's exact meaning, making both written and spoken language a more versatile tool that helps people understand each other much better. Another function is to create images that could not be otherwise conveyed using literal meaning. There are many kinds of figurative language, namely hyperbole, oxymoron, synecdoche, symbolic, onomatopoeia, personification, imagery, metaphor, simile, allusion, and idiom. Let's discuss them in brief. Hyperbole. In other words, it is simply an exaggeration, but it is one that creates a humorous effect or cannot happen in real life. People use hyperbole every day, oftentimes without even realizing that it is among examples of figurative language. Look at the example. On the left picture, it is said that the shoes take 50 million years to put on. Then, on the right picture, it is shown that the shoes have existed 50 million years ago used by a person. Logically, it's very impossible. Yet, to show the durability of the shoes, people use hyperbole. Oxymoron. Oxymoron combines two concepts that have opposite meanings in order to create a new deeper meaning that emphasizes the intended message using new constructions seeming absurdity. Texts that include oxymoron should be translated by professional translation services in order to preserve their meaning. Look at the examples of oxymoron here. All of them combine two concepts which have opposite meanings, like silent scream, old news, bittersweet, and so on. Synecdoche. The definition of figurative language device is two-dimensional, since it can represent the whole of some concept or thing referring to its parts, or vice versa, using a part to represent the whole. For example, do you like my new wheels? Wheels are parts of a car, yet wheels here represent whole concept of a car. Symbolism. Symbolism presupposes going beyond the literal sense of a word or concept. For example, white color is a symbol of cleanliness and purity, but in many cultures, this color is the symbol of death, and mourning clothing is always white. Yet, in Indonesia, the symbol of death is black. It means different color may represent different culture. Onomatopoeia. According to standard figurative language definition, this literary device suggests that sounds or noises are embodied by words that consist of similar sounds. Usually, one can easily understand what a word means without knowing the term, just listening to it, as these words are pretty self-explanatory and imitate real sounds. Yet, this example of figurative language should be translated carefully as different lingos use different phonological contexts. Personification. Personification is a figure of speech in which an idea or thing is given human attributes and or feelings or is spoken as if it were human. Personification is a common form of metaphor in that human characteristics are attributed to non-human things. This allows writers to create life and motion within inanimate objects, animals, and even abstract ideas by assigning them recognizable human behaviors and emotions. I took some personification examples from Taylor Swift songs. Imagery. Imagery is a concept that is quite easy to understand. It is simply the use of vivid descriptions in order to explain a situation to a reader or listener. It is a way of building a picture or image in the mind so that the audience can gain a greater understanding of the situation which is being talked about. Imagery is used as both a literary device and a figurative language. In the latter, it is a great way for a speaker to express in a more colorful way how something might look, smell, feel, or taste. When used as a literary device, imagery gives the author the chance to be more creative in their descriptions within the text. Metaphor. This strategy is the inseparable component of literary text as it helps authors describe an object or person by referring to some other concepts that have very similar features or characteristics. Connection between two things is obligatory, but metaphor does not compare them using words like. An example from a song titled Happiness is Butterfly. We can assume that happiness is like a butterfly, free, beautiful, colorful, and many more. Another example is A Dream is a Wish Your Heart Makes, a song title of Cinderella the movie. Literally, our heart cannot make a dream, yet metaphor makes us create imagination that heart can use. Simile. Metaphor and simile are figurative language types that people often confuse. It is easy to differentiate them as simile uses terms like or as to compare two phenomena and enhance intended meaning by using one of the concepts to highlight the other. You can listen to a song from Lenka. The title is Everything at Once, since the lyrics involve a lot of examples of simile. Allusion. Allusion will also motivate your audience to use more outside research since this strategy implies referring to a specific situation, person, or event. One example of allusion is the sentence, "When your parents learn about your new plan to raise money, it's going to sink like the Titanic." Since Titanic ship, which sank more than 1,000 years ago, was famous up to now, people will easily understand the reference. Another example is the sentence, "His smile resembled the one of a Cheshire cat." Cheshire cat is a cat from Alice in Wonderland the movie. This cat is famous for its distinctive mischievous grin. This reference helps us wonder how he smiles like Cheshire cat. Idiom. This is a stable phrase or a words group that has a specific and rather different meaning from its constituents' literal sense meaning. This figurative language meaning is always very particular and usually words cannot be changed without ruining intended message. It should be used in proper context as well. The example of idiom is taken from Garfield comic. Garfield said, "Hand over your man card to John after he yells because I want to." Ellie said that man card refers to a card owned by a person who is regarded as a man. If that person acts like a woman behavior, the man card should be handed over since he is no longer a man. After you study various kinds of figurative language, can you give examples of figurative language? Please explain them. You may send your answer to my email written here. So this concludes the focus of discussion today. To end, I'd like to highlight that we have learned kinds of figurative language and examples of figurative language. I hope you can make examples of figurative language. If anyone who likes more information or has questions, please feel free to contact me at enggar@ecampus.ut.ac.id. Thank you so much for your interest and attention. Bye.